All right, I have my quilt sandwich underneath the presser foot. This is the new path tool for meandering, and it is made of an 1/8 inch acrylic. It has a start point and an end point, and they are etched on there so that you don't ever have to worry about them rubbing off. And you'll notice these little dots on the back. Now there's tons of different types of products you can use. There's So Tacky tape. There's Dusty likes to use rubber cement. Whatever. My personal choice is I just get out my little hot glue gun and I just make some little dollops on there. You don't want them to be thick. You kind of want to smear it around with the glue gun. But to me, it gives it a nice texture, but it also is rubber, so it makes it not slippery. And this is really kind of the most important thing when you're doing quilting on your domestic machine, because you need this template to grip your fabric so that you can actually move the fabric using the template like a steering wheel. So now I'm going to start here at the start point. I've got my rubber glue dots down. I'm going to lower my presser foot so that it is right in at the start point here. And I'm going to just use the hand crank, and I'm going to go down one time. I'm going to bring the bobbin thread up to the top. Now remember, I have lowered my my feed dogs, and I'm going to just gently stitch back and forth a couple stitches in the same spot. Basically, that ties a knot. I do like to stitch with needle down position so that as I move my fabric and everything, I don't lose my place. So I'm going to go ahead and trim this thread out of the way because I don't want it getting all tangled up around my presser foot. So first things first, keeping in mind, now this particular machine has a very short throat. So I have to keep that in mind when I'm quilting so that I don't run into the back part of the machine. So I'm going to try to keep my stitch length even as best I can by keeping a steady speed on the presser foot, but also moving my fabric at a consistent speed, which this takes some practice to kind of get on to do it consistently. But as you go, you will get better and better. So I'm going to start here, needles in the down position, and all I'm doing is following right along the path. And as I get down here, you want to make sure that you're moving your fingers as you're going, because you want to always have a good solid grip on your template, because we don't want it moving. We want our design to stay nice and even. So now I've just moved everything so that I could stay in a nice even speed. And like I said, I don't want to run into the back of the machine. So as I continue, I'll just slowly turn the piece and continue quilting. So now spin again because I'm running out of space over here. And around we go. I want to make sure that I'm holding on as I go around where the needle's going to be, because you are going to be applying pressure to the template. So you don't want to push too hard in any one direction. Making sure you're moving your hands as you go is really important. So as we come to the end of the row, it does say end at the end of the path. We're stopping, needle down. Now this is the great part. So I'm going to turn this so I hope that you can see it. All I'm going to do, my needle's in the down position, is I'm going to take my template and I'm going to rotate it. Just like this. Back around my foot. And now I start quilting again. So off we go. Back to quilting. it's just like many of our long arm quilters, and we pay for the service to have our quilts long armed, but a lot of our quilters are using pantographs, something like that. Well, this is basically a pantograph, but using our domestic machine where we can actually quilt our own quilts ourselves. Now, I don't know that I would ever probably put a king-size quilt in something like this. Surely you could. It's just the weight. I don't know if myself personally I would ever try to attempt that because of the simple fact that it is so heavy. Again, I'm at the end, and we're going to say that that's the end. I'm just going to go back and forth one time so that I can basically tie a knot. I'm going to go ahead and cut my threads, remove my template, cut the threads on the back, and now, as you can see, I've quilted now a very nice meander along the quilt. And if this was a quilt and had rows of blocks or something like that, you would just continue doing as I demonstrated. You get to the end, you turn your template, and you just continue the whole width of your quilt. When you get to the end of that row, you would stop, tie a knot, and then begin at the other end again. Some of us can go backwards and forwards and not have any trouble. Some of us work better from left to right, and it's easier for us to always work from left to right. Whatever works best for you. You're going to want to make sure that you've basted or pinned or whatever your quilt top, depending on size, because you want your everything to stay together, layered up real nice, just as if you were going to quilt it, you know, without a template or anything. Same thing. You're going to do the same thing throughout. But it really does give you a real nice look. And I hope to have some more tools coming out here in January, but I wanted to get this out there because I know a lot of you are like me, and I am not a quilter. I'm not a long armer, and this is something that I can actually do myself. So save yourself a little money. Get the foot. My dad actually manufactures the feet for me. You can still also use, I know we go to shows and so on, and we see lots of long arm tools, and Dusty is a long armer, so he's got a lot of tools that are the 1/4 inch thick. You can still use those 1/4 inch thick tools with this foot. And I just want to, I'm not going to necessarily quilt anything, but I want to just show you. I've got a small tool here, and if I were quilting like blocks or something like that, and I wanted block specific designs or something, you know, it's super easy. Lower your feed dogs, lower your foot in the down position, and being as the foot is thicker than our standard foot, you can place that template right up against the edge of that foot. You don't have to worry about sliding under it or over it. As long as you are, you know, have a nice firm hand on the template, you can quilt anything you want. So arcs are real nice. You know, any of the curves that you want to do, you can simply by applying the template to the edge of the foot. So one of my favorites is I like to do leaves. You just always want to remember that you have to compensate. The needle is 1/4 inch in from the edge of the foot. So you want to make sure that you leave that 1/4 inch gap at the bottom so that when you come around, your template meets right up against your previous stitch line. And because, like I said, I'm not very good at free motioning, I would even use this to do the spine in my leaf and backtrack it back to the beginning and then continue with my design. And, you know, personally, I can be happy with that and not think that it looks horrible. So I hope you find this tool and this foot as useful as I do. They will be available online, so you can go to www.cscountrystitching.com to order yours. Make sure to do that. And make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. There are over 80 videos on there, give you a lot of design ideas. things like that. And if you subscribe, you can, whenever we post new videos, you'll get a notification saying that we have posted new videos for you to check out. So thanks. Have a great day.